Welcome to HDTV. You're now rocking with your boy.
His way is to befriend them, to soften them up, make them feel like he cares about them, and then he goes out there and physically tries to destroy them.
I don't go on the court expecting, to make friends. I go out there to play the game of basketball like I know how to play.
Michael Jordan is always on the lookout for extra motivation. In January, Jeff Van Gundy did just that. Not surprisingly, Michael would burn the Knicks all game long.
18 points in the first quarter for Michael. Mike with 27 in the first half.
An NBA season high 51 points left Van Gundy and the Knicks speechless.
Van Gundy has a Jordan headache right now.
Today, Michael returns to Broadway. Now it's time for the New York players to do the talking. Michael Jordan lit up the Knicks for 51 points, and you may recall Jordan lashing out verbally at Knicks coach Jeff Van Gundy. Michael upset that Van Gundy had said that Jordan uses friendships and stature to con some of his opponents. We talked about this earlier with Michael and asked, is this still ongoing in terms of the unhappiness about those statements?
It's kind of downplayed a little bit, but it's never forgotten. I think, when you hear certain things like that, you put them in your memory bank and you use them wherever you feel.
This is y'all go, right? Crybaby, right? Crybaby Jordan.
Past that. We're in a whole different game.
We're in a whole different game. I'm focused.
Situations,
I'm focused on situations unexpected. Man, shut your butt up. Man, F this dude's birthday. Wake y'all butt up. HD in the building. You want to call me a hater? Well, I'll be the biggest one today. Jeff Van Gundy was right. You are a con man. You little bald-headed bum. You a con man. You made friends with all these guys. You used them against them. You made friends with Charles Barkley so you could later dominate him. You made friends with Patrick Ewing to dominate him. You made friends with all these guys. You ain't nothing special. Michael was probably the greatest scorer we've ever seen. Greatest scorer. He is a con man. He used every advantage in the book to beat you. Jeff Van Gundy told the truth. He told the truth. That's why nobody respected Patrick Ewing. Charles Oakley over here talking about, man, Pat need to be a better. No, you need to stop sucking down Jordan's socks. Stop sucking Jordan's socks. This would piss me off. All these Jordan fans love to come up with stories and glorify this bald-headed bum, but they don't want to tell the truth what this dude did. He's the reason the NBA is what it is today. Individualism, all about me, me, me. Michael was selfish. He only did things if it was beneficial to him. So I don't want to hear all this goat talking, happy birthday. Man, F that bald-headed bum's birthday. That's why I'm dropping this video a day after his birthday, because I don't honor that bum. This the guy y'all love, who basically says, hey, the only way that you kids can get free Jordans is if I miss a free throw shot or miss a shot. What kind of prick is this? Chameleon there had to expose his bum behind. Had to expose the bum. Talking about, I took it personal. I enjoy my friends. I'm cool. You use your friends. You used your friends. You used your friends because you knew in your heart of hearts that you could dominate them. You see, this wasn't the 80s. See, in the 80s, he couldn't do this crap. Nobody was going to be all buddy-buddy with this guy. And that's the facts. Then he wants to talk trash to Van Gundy soon as he walks off. Michael was a crybaby. A big crybaby. That's all he was. Now, I will admit, he had sacks as big as mangoes. Michael hit those clutch shots, had big intangibles. But Jeff Van Gundy is right. He's a con man. He uses movies. He used everything to his advantage. The golf course, took guys out just to butter them up so then he could kill them the next night. He would take guys out gambling, poker, get them drunk, then come back and drop 50 on their head. That's how Mike was. Jeff Van Gundy saw through it. He's like, I'm not taking back nothing I said. I said it. That's the truth. And it is. It's the truth about him. That is the truth about him. This guy did everything in his power. Treated Jerry Cross like crap.
Comments made somewhat in jest about Michael Jordan. It seemed like he kind of took a heat and lit up 51 points tonight. Any regrets?
What's that now? I couldn't
Do you
hear you.
regret saying some of the things throughout the course of the week about Michael Jordan?
I didn't say anything this week about it.
Well, you made some comments that, sometimes people are in awe of Michael Jordan. Sometimes Michael Jordan kind of pretends to be friends with people, and then he seems to have big nights against people while they're smiling.
No, I don't have any regrets. I told the truth. He had a big night. He played a great game. That's the usual for him. Plays very well. He's a great player. At the same time, I believe everything I said. You have to go at him as hard as he goes at you. And he uses every weapon to his advantage that he can. Some physical, some mental. I was proud of our guys. They went right at him. He had a great night, made some big shots.
What did you say to him after that last basket?
Some choice words.
Can you give us a clean version?
No.
Michael, was he doing it the whole game? Was he talking to you the whole game?
I don't know. I didn't really listen. I was pretty much focused coming into the game. I just wanted to go out and play my game, and hopefully we can find a way to win.
You also seem to be having some fun with your buddy Spike Lee at courtside too.
I don't know how you keep getting those good seats. There's a lot of people in Chicago should be sitting there. But if you want to see it right up front, go ahead.
Michael, this reminds a lot of people of the old days when I used to do a lot of scoring and people did a lot of standing around.
You see the arrogance, you hear the arrogance, the bitchness in his voice. This is what Michael was. This guy I watched as a kid, I'm like, this dude is phony. But when I saw him on that golf course that day and he was talking vicious to Charles Barkley, like that was his son, I'd been like, hold on, mother ucker, who you talking to like that? I don't care if we cool or not. You ain't gonna talk to me like that.
The playoff game. This is kind of playoff atmosphere, and we expected that. And we were able to hold them off down the stretch, and minus our big key rebounder. I think we did a heck of a job.
Is that why you and Scotty went off in the first quarter to set the tone?
Well, we had to. I mean, both of us are not accustomed back, and we faced a tough opponent, and we had to be a little bit more focused tonight, and I think we did, both of us.
Did you expect the extreme physical game tonight from them?
We expected that defensively, and we knew we had to get in there and physically just try to stand ground and rebound the ball, and they were coming at us really, really strong.
The result was the same, but how does this Knicks team compare to the one from last year?
This team is getting better. I mean, you made some acquisitions in the summer, and it's going to take some time for them to blend together. But they look very strong. At least they played well tonight. Without Starks, who could have added a big factor for them defensively, just as offensively, and we were lucky to win the game.
Joseph, make a comment to Spike on the way into the locker room, a message for his coach, the Knicks coach.
I'm pretty sure you passed that on.
Did you know you would have to step up your game tonight like you did?
I was ready. I was prepared to do whatever.
Just a phony. Faking phony. Jeff Van Gundy was correct. He's a con man. He conned all of y'all in buying his damn Jordans. He conned all of y'all to brag and say he's the greatest of all time. He ain't no damn greatest of all time. All he did was cry. They trying to end my career. The Pistons are trying to kill me. This dude here.
I think it was very difficult for them because they were two-time champions. But, there certainly has to be some respect.
Straight up bitches. That's what they walked off like. Whatever he says now, it wasn't his true actions then. It's time enough to think about it. Or the reaction of the public that's kind of changed his perspective of it. You can show me anything you want. There's no way you can convince me he wasn't an asshole.
I think it was very...
Look at him hating. Just hating on the Pistons because they used to whoop your ass up and down the court. Now you talking about, man, I got a grudge again. You still got a grudge? You soft behind dude. This what I like. This what I like right here.
Films The Last Dance, Dave Star, and of course, one of the icons of his era. And last night, viewers got a glimpse, but Phil, can you explain the bad boys to the youngsters out there? What feeling did you guys try to carry out on the court?
Win championships. That's all that would matter to us. Our style of play was, everybody called it ugly and they called it ruining the game. But reality says that we changed the game.
There's a quote in The Last Dance from Michael Jordan where he says, quote, "I hated them." And he said, "The hate carries to this day." Does it surprise you that he still feels that way?
No, we hated the Boston Celtics. Mentally strong teams, you have to get past them. And getting past them is the hardest thing you could possibly do. It just takes so much energy and so much, and disappointment over the years. So I understand how he feels. We didn't hate the Bulls. They were trying to catch us. We were the winners. But we hate the Boston Celtics. No question about that.
There's a section of the documentary that talks about the Jordan rules. James Worthy actually chimes in. He said, watching that, I don't know how MJ came out of that alive. There's another quote, "As soon as he steps in the paint, hit him. Get him on the ground. How bad do you want him? Are you willing to be hit to score a basket?" Was that really what it was like with you guys?
Yeah, it was twofold. One, you couldn't let him dominate the game because, he could at times. So make him shoot jump shots. You don't want to shoot jump shots. You want to come in the paint. Well, you pay the price. That was a given. And he tried, and, he made some buckets, but he also hit the floor a lot. But he also, his teammates weren't capable at that time to carry the day. So we knew that he had to pass the basketball to them. We'd take our chances with them being the scorers. So it's kind of twofold. One is wear him down as much as we could with the physical aspect, but also try to force the action onto his teammates.
And Bill, you and the Pistons are the only players to have an overall winning playoff record against Larry Bird, Magic Johnson, and Michael Jordan, which is an amazing...
Hold on. Happy birthday to you, you bald bum. Say that again.
His teammates weren't capable at that time to carry the day. So we knew that.
Talking about happy birthday. F that bum Jordan.
So it's kind of twofold. One is wear him down as much as we could with the physical aspect, but also try to force the action onto his teammates.
And Bill, you and the Pistons are the only players to have an overall winning playoff record against Larry Bird, Magic Johnson, and Michael Jordan, which is an amazing trifecta. But we know in 1991, the Bulls finally got over the mountain. They beat you. And the documentary details how you in particular were the one who told your teammates at the end of that series, we're not shaking their hands. We're just leaving. What do you remember from that?
Well, just that. They whined and cried for a year and a half about how bad we were for the game. But more importantly, they said we're bad people. We weren't bad people. We were just basketball players winning. And that has stuck with me because they didn't know who we were or what we were about as individuals in our family life. So all that whining they did, why shake their hand? They were just whiners. They won the series. Give them credit. We got old. They got past us, but okay, move on.
Do you regret now not shaking their hand? Do you stand by that?
No. Why would I regret now today? I don't care what the media says about me. I never did. If I did, I'd be a basket case, especially back then. I was about winning basketball games and winning championships and did whatever I had to do to get the most out of my ability and our team. And we did. At the end of the day, we're called world champions.
You're still the Detroit Pistons' all-time leading rebounder, in addition to still being, as you say, you're still two-time world champion. But you were also a center who was a serious threat from the outside. 30 years before anyone started using the term unicorn, you made more than 200 three-pointers in your career. What has it been like for you? I've always wondered to see the NBA game change so much, and decades later, such a premium put on the skill set that you had all those years ago.
Well, the game, everybody says the game has changed and it's no fun. I don't know if I buy that one. The players are bigger, faster, stronger than ever before. And so the court basically shrunk, to use, there's no room to move. So you have to be able to shoot deeper and from the perimeters in all positions because you have to be able to open that lane up for any kind of drives.
You, of course, also have had a tremendous second act as a head coach in the WNBA. You won 3 titles with the Detroit Shock. You're currently coaching the Las Vegas Aces. And we know the WNBA season, just like everything else, is on hold right now. If you had to make a call right now in your gut, do you think the WNBA plays this year?
Yeah, clear as mud. I think, the men, the NBA is going to lead this. Not only for the basketball world, but I think for all sports. They're working very hard trying to find solutions. They have a lot more zeros than we do in the WNBA.
So don't tell me about no damn Michael Jordan. He ain't run nothing. You want to call me a hater? Cool. I don't give a damn.
Explain to us what kind of effect do you believe you walking off the court behind Lambert after losing to the Chicago Bulls has had on your career, your reputation, your life as an NBA phenom and Hall of Famer?
Well, I think the crowd is cheering here for the Bulls right now, and the Pistons as they leave the court.
I don't think they're cheering for the Bulls, but chance to respond to what Michael said. So for those of you who saw it last night, you saw it. Michael Jordan on that moment last night on Last Dance said whatever Isaiah says now, it wasn't his true actions then. There's time enough to think about it or the reaction of the public that's changed his perspective. You can show me anything you want. There's no way you can convince me he wasn't a blank, and I'm not allowed to say the word on TV. Again, the best thing about rivalries is that 30 years later, they're still not over. Here's the Hall of Famer Isaiah Thomas. We wanted to give you a
and Isaiah laughing at this bum. You still mad?
First of all, let me just say this. I speak for kind of 3 things here. I speak for the city of Detroit. I speak for the Detroit Pistons. And then I also speak for myself. So watching the documentary, I think it's interesting. It's fun. It's entertaining right now, and I think the sports world need it. In terms of how we felt at that particular times as champions, we were coming down. Michael Jordan was coming up, and in coming up, you have certain emotions, and in coming down as champions, you have certain emotions. And I've said this many a times. Looking back over the years, had we had the opportunity to do it all over again, I think all of us would make a different decision. Now, me, myself, personally, I've paid a heavy price for that decision.
Yep.
And in paying that price, I understand that this is the sports world and everything else, but at the same time, looking back over it in terms of how we felt at that particular time, our emotional state, and how we exited the floor, we actually gave the world the opportunity to look at us in a way that we never really tried to position ourselves in or project ourselves in that way. So it's unfortunate that it happened, but that's just how it was during that period of time.
Zeke, I'm going to turn you over to Jalen in a second, but I wanted to ask just one more thing, because it was always my perception, as one who covered the league at that time, that your team, your group, thrived on the image of being the bad boys. That there were some athletes who love that disrespect and love to be hated by the fans, and it motivates them. How would you describe the way you felt then and feel now about having been the bad boys?
It's just interesting looking back over that era, Greeny, because when I came into the league, and I really have to contextualize this for everyone watching, because when I came into the league, the Philadelphia 76ers and Dr. J were the champions. And then Boston became the champions. And during the period of the 80s, it was Philadelphia, Boston, LA, and Detroit.
Yep.
Those were the four champions. And, when we talk about, only Boston and LA, that's not accurate. There was the 76ers, there was Boston, there was LA, and then there was Detroit. And at that particular time, we had a chance to do something that none of those franchises had ever done. We had a chance to three-peat. And we were going for all three-peat in 91. And really, it could have been our four-peat, because in 88, we technically we could have won that game too. But, we didn't. So going for that three-peat, for us, emotionally, it was, it was draining, but it was also disappointing at that time to lose. And I remember when we played Boston, and, when Boston exited the floor, and I remember, going back in our locker room, and we're celebrating and everything else. And, for us, it was okay when Boston exited. It was okay when Larry Bird exited. We never looked back and said, oh, they were poor sports, they were bad champions. We were actually grateful of the lessons that they had taught us along the way in terms of how to win, how to become a good team, how to be a solid friend.
You heard that, you little bitch, crybaby Jordan? You crybaby bitch? They tried to hurt me because they walked off the court on you. The Sixers did it to the Celtics. The Celtics did it to them. I don't want to hear that crap. The Lakers did it to them. You ain't been nothing but a big crybaby your whole life. Nothing but a white boy with black skin. That's all you are. You a con man. You conned the players in the 90s to kiss your butt so you could win your little championships. They hold a better record against you. You'll never ever be able to do that or rewrite that history. You lost. You broke through in the 90s because you had a bunch of mentally weak guys. Barkley, Ewing, Hakeem, he couldn't never make it back. He didn't have the team, and plus he got too old. You feasted off a weak competition in the 90s, making friends with everybody, so then you could use that to your advantage. Especially against the young guys, you could use that to your advantage. Nobody want to hear that. Happy birthday to his baldness, bum ass. I'm out. Deezy.